We try to meet like at least once a term at McMenamin's for some lunch. And it's always cool. We always get to talk about whatever it is, usually it comes back to the Big Bang, stuff like that. But yeah, I think that we've kind of, could say we're friends now.
Lucas is my most reliable source on when the universe began, how it evolved over time, big issues in physics. So why don't you give me a sense of what it is you're working on?
I'm running simulations of dust formation in the early universe right now to see what variables affect that formation and the structure that it forms.
Well, let me ask you, someone who's pretty earthbound, what's in it for me? I mean, if you think about what you're working on, how does it have any impact on my life? I mean, obviously, it can be interesting to the curious, and I like to think I'm among the curious. There could be real, concrete, beneficial effects to mankind.
One example is dust accumulates to form asteroids and then planets. Understanding where the dust comes from tells you something about the planets that form from it. And so that possibly has implications where we look for Earth-like planets.
Sounds like a pretty important thing for somebody to be thinking about.
Yeah, good to start now.
Did ARCS and this program play a role in your deciding to come to Oregon State in Oregon? You're not a native Oregonian. How much of an impact did that have?
You could say it made the decision very easy. There's no other award or scholarship or anything that was offering what ARCS could offer.
One of the things that fascinates me about the ARCS program is that the support is not tied exclusively to things like tuition and books. I can remember my first year as a graduate student, I ate 2 hamburger patties and a can of mixed vegetables for dinner every night. My entire first year. It was pretty grisly. I still like hamburgers and mixed vegetables, but anyway, how much does that flexibility mean to you?
Unexpected expenses come up all the time. You can't plan for everything. For instance, I crashed my bike this year. It's my only mode of transportation to and from school, so good thing I had a way to fix it. ARCS scholars aren't worried so much about basic things like food and rent and those things that you need just to be able to do grad school, and can instead focus, on what's important. So research.
How do you not obsess? I know my dad years ago told me, you can't ever let anything be so important in your life that it defines you, because ultimately it will let you down. And I think what he was talking about was just this idea of you got to have lots of different interests, and how do you decompress?
Yeah, one way I like to spend my free time is, outdoor stuff like biking, hiking, and one thing I really like is Frisbee golf. Research can be very frustrating. You need some way to get that out. And the other thing is just that coming away from a problem can sometimes be super beneficial, right? You come right back and then the answer's just right there. So what made you want to be involved in ARCS?
Well, what got me originally involved in ARCS was the fact that my late wife was involved in a volunteer and was on the board. But this is a program that focuses on people post-baccalaureate, those with the greatest actual debt. From studies tend to be post-baccalaureate, doctoral, and professional. That's the hardest area to get donors to understand. ARCS helps fill the gap.
I think the biggest overall impact that ARCS has on scholars, ARCS financially technically only lasts 3 years, but all the connections I've made with you and everybody else in ARCS, last however long they last.
I hope we can continue to get together and you can answer some of these physics questions I keep asking you, and stay in touch.